Do you think for marriages to work today, we should have an expiry date? That document that we carry on in church, that we sign, should there be a 20-year or 10-year renewal such that people are continually coming back to say, okay, should we continue this thing or should we go our separate ways? Do you think it's a good idea?
No, it's not. See, one of the things, thanks for having me, it's always nice to be here. One of the things we need to understand is that when you are getting married, you are getting married to the past, the present, and the future of whichever you are getting married to. The major challenge, like I've said over and over again, is because a lot of people go into marriage without understanding marriage. So many people get married before they discover themselves. And so when they start discovering themselves in marriage, because they lack understanding of self and understanding of marriage, then those conflicts come. Once you understand marriage, you will know that in your marriage, you can really not be married to only one person. Because that one person you are getting married to, there are 5 to 7 dimensions to that person in the lifetime of that marriage. So once you have that understanding and there is effective communication, as we are moving from stage 1 to stage 2, we continue to help each other to navigate those seasons. So that's the way it works. So if I'm a man now, I meet you as a young girl, I'm a young guy, I'm getting married to a young lady. I'm also a young guy. But now we get into the marriage, we're getting to know each other, you become pregnant. I have never met a pregnant woman before. I've never been married to a pregnant woman before. So now, even though I married you as a young lady, I'm now married to a pregnant woman. I don't understand that. You have never been pregnant before. You don't understand that. So we are both confused. So we need someone to now help us understand that when you get married, though, there'll be pregnancy season, there'll be parenting season. So those are the realities that many people don't know. And when it happens, it becomes a struggle. Because you are pregnant. How do you handle a pregnant woman that is not even understanding herself? She's trying to understand your hormonal change. Then you are there, you are not understanding her, and it's like, what's this? Then she now becomes a mother. And once a woman becomes a mother, as a man, your position becomes secondary, whether you accept it or not. The woman born with the children, and then the children become a greater priority than you, whether you accept it or not, whether they acknowledge it or not. So, but if you don't understand that, that's where the battle starts. So, like I said, I think I said the last time, a lot of people that start going into psychicism, it begins when their wife is pregnant and when the children come in and they feel that I'm no more a priority in this marriage, and then the enemy messes them up.
Are you single or you are married? Ball in, because this world is going to transform your relationship with your spouse. Listen and be blessed.
Okay, because what I can hear you saying is a communication breakdown, in the sense that maybe both parties are not communicating their needs in at different phases to each other. So let's talk about communication breakdown in marriage, and also when you have maybe one of the spouse that keeps saying, oh, I don't like to talk, I don't talk, I'm not the talking type. How do they now communicate their needs, or how do they now help encourage communication within the marriage system for someone that says, oh, I don't talk, I don't like talking? Now
you see, everybody talks. There is nobody that does not talk. But now people talk to people they love, to people they are free with, to people they are friends with, to people they can be vulnerable with. In most relationships, you'll be amazed to realize that a lot of couples, before they get married, they have deep conversations. They are able to talk about almost everything. But when they get married, the dynamics change, because most of the time you see a lot of people say, just tell me anything, I will take it. Then when you now start telling them what they now begin to that, then you begin to say, okay, but you told me I should tell you everything. So I'm married to you, I love you, I'm committed to you, but someone in the office is staring something in me, and I'm like, babe, girl, come, you have to help me. If I this girl say, how can you? Then the next day I'm going to work. Are you seeing that today? Then I will not tell you anything tomorrow. So whatever struggles I have, you're supposed to be my best friend. You're supposed to be my safe space, naked and not ashamed. But the very minute I realize that, then I'll go to my guy and say, guy, how do I handle this babe? So that's the reality. Most of the time we say we are ready for the truth. And these are the reality. So if you as a lady come and say, there's one guy that toasted me today. He said, okay, we just about it. But not many men can do that. Not many women can do that. So when it comes to communication, everybody communicates. But you need to now make yourself the safe space that your spouse can communicate with.
All right, so in a society where marriage has been solely prioritized, how do we start to decolonize people's minds about marriage, and is marriage really the trophy for a woman?
No, marriage is not a trophy for anybody. Marriage is one of the things that has been made available for you in the journey of your life if you consider it to be an option you want to explore. You don't have to be married. As a matter of fact, if you are not fulfilled being single, you'll be frustrated being married. The challenge with a lot of people is that they have never been single. You see, we need to have right definitions for what, I said at the beginning that people don't even understand marriage. So what is this? What is marriage? So let me give you the definition of marriage. If you disagree with this definition, then you are not married, or you don't understand yet. You will get it later. So marriage is a covenant commitment to love an imperfect person unconditionally for the rest of your life. Marriage is the highest school of selflessness and sacrifice. So once you are getting married, it's a covenant. Number 2 is a commitment. Number 3 is a love relationship. So what then is your definition of love? Love is not a feeling, love is a choice. Love is not a feeling, love is a commitment. So when you see people say, I don't love you anymore, it's because your love was based on feeling. You will never, I repeat, never feel good about your partner 24/7, 365. Even the children you give birth to, so say, please all of you leave here. It doesn't mean you don't love them, but at that point you don't feel good about what is happening. But your love is a commitment and it's a choice. So when I say I love you, that means I have chosen to accept you. I have chosen to be committed to you. It does not mean I will feel good every time or things will feel right every time. So marriage is a covenant commitment to love. Now getting down to an imperfect person. There is no perfect person on earth. There is no Mr. Perfect. There is no Mrs. Perfect. You are only going to get someone that is perfect for you. So nobody is perfect. Everybody has weakness. So when you are getting married, settle it. This one I'm married though. This one I'm married, they are not perfect. So you have to love that imperfection. That's why when God brings people together, most of the time, what is your weakness is my strength. What is your strength is my weakness. When we understand that, we complement each other. But when you keep highlighting my weaknesses, then my strength will look low. But when you highlight my strength, my weakness will look low. That's the way it works. So covenant commitment to love an imperfect person unconditionally for the rest of your life. Marriage is for a lifetime.
So decolonizing the minds of society on the issue of marriage.
So it's not, you see, when you say you want to get married, you have to be sure you are ready for it. That's why if you are not ready, don't get married. Because once you get married, it's not for boys and girls. Therefore shall a man leave his father, mother, and cleave to his wife. It's not boy, girl, it's man, woman. You have to be matured to be able to get into marriage. So anybody that is saying to you, you must marry or you must not marry, nobody can tell you you must or you mustn't. It's your choice and your decision. But once you make that decision, you are a slave of your choices. Whatever comes with it, you have to take it.
So now, based on what you've said, sir, that marriage is a commitment and all that, we're supposed to prioritize our spouses, right? So why then does the African men or the African context that they feel like a man can go out and cheat because he's not being prioritized based on, you said earlier on that there's no how a woman must always prioritize the children, maybe because of the tender age that they are, but most men would not even look at it out of that. Oh, her body has changed. Oh, she doesn't really have my time like that. Oh, she's always tired. Oh, she's not as glamorous as she used to be before. Then they find solace, forgetting that the woman too has needs and she can also find solace. But in African context, they don't give the woman the permission to do it, but men, they will hail the man and say, after all, you are getting it somewhere else. So I want you to explain better.
So you have answered the reason why you said African men, African context. Africa did not create marriage. Marriage was not created by Africans or Europeans. Marriage was God's idea. So every time you don't involve the author or the inventor in the operation of anything, you will always go into error and assumption. So there are 3 kinds of marriages. We have African cultural marriages, we have contemporary marriages, and then we have kingdom marriages. I have said to people for almost 27, 28 years, never marry an African man. Marry a kingdom man. Never marry an African woman. Marry a kingdom woman. Because as an African man, there is a software and a syllabus that created you. Until that software and syllabus is changed, you can never have the kind of marriage that you want. African men are raised to be tough. We don't cry. We pretend. We are macho. We don't share our feeling. We are not vulnerable. We are providers. We are better than women. That is an African man. If you marry that kind of person, you are in trouble. So until that man is converted to become a kingdom person that understand that this marriage thing was created by my creator, and these are the principles that guides it, and I'm going to align myself to that. Until that happens, you're going to be in trouble. But you see, in trying to run away, because we're always going to wrong extreme, in trying to say, I don't do African men, I don't do this, we now go to the other extreme. We have now created a contemporary marriage where you can't tell me what to do, talk to the hand, I get to see you, and then we have now realized that many of these people that now want to fight patriarchy, they have now entered into another extreme error, and that's why we're having all these challenges that we're having. So as far as I'm concerned, once you are getting married, the first thing you need to do is understand marriage and be prepared for it. Today, a lot of people will spend money. I had a session, I have a conference in Houston online a few weeks ago. Someone spent 10 million naira on pre-wedding and what do they call it? No, not even for the toasty proposal.
Oh,
they now to propose now they do parties to propose. Yeah, they bring hall, they do a whole hall, they brought band, they brought saxophone, everything. Spend 10 million. The same person now wants to go for premarital counseling. Come and pay $1,500. Say it's too much. So you are ready to pay a wedding planner. You don't want to pay a wedding coach or a wedding counselor, because we don't understand that you cannot succeed in the battlefield by manufacturing the weapons of war on the battlefield. You have to prepare. So a lot of people, they don't prepare for marriage, and when they get in there, they face the truth.
Dr. Rumi, as I said before, because this whole week we're discussing marriage, and we need you to come and help us clarify some things we're hearing and discussing. Another thing I need your clarity on: somebody, a man like you, stood up and said that a man can love his wife and still cheat. It doesn't have anything to do with the cheating. He knows, even the woman he's cheating with knows that he's married. That has nothing, because sometimes the woman in the house does not look like that figure in his side, the fantasy he has. Because now she's a mother, and he sees her, he respects her, he loves her so much. She's the mother of his children. She's a respectful person in church. She's deaconess XYZ. So he sees her as somebody who's nurturing, in charge of the whole house, and he loves her for that role. But he cannot see her as the exotic person that that he wants to get with. So he goes out to go and find a Jane who is available. So, and doesn't mean that he doesn't love his wife. So women should accept the fact that I can cheat on you, but doesn't mean I don't love you. Please help us on it, because we are finding it difficult to choose.
Okay, so we're going to need to look at it from different perspectives. The first thing you need to understand is that most men are deceived to think that they are the only ones that have feelings and emotion for people. They have this belief that women don't feel that way, but it's a lie. It's just because women have been trained by that same culturalization to be more disciplined. And so a lot of women, by virtue of their upbringing, they have a higher discipline with their sexuality than men. Because even in the upbringing level, they will tell you, a woman, no. But for the guy, hey, my guy, even the parents will be yelling the guy from young age. So because of that, a lot of men have grown up to be indisciplined. Now, the fact that you are married does not mean that your feeling will only be for your wife. You will see people that will trigger something in you, but where discipline comes in is, thank God I have mine. That's nice, beautiful. You thought that's why I call it the mystery of the neck. The reason why you have a neck is so that your head can move. So if there is evil here, you say, wow, that's good, then you move your head to the left. If there is evil everywhere, you lift up your eyes to the heaven and receive grace. So number one, let men get that. So any man that is telling you, I can do that, a woman can also do the same. You just need to understand that, but most men can't take it. You want to do it, but you cannot take it. Now, the second aspect is to realize that, in all honesty, a lot of men, for them, sex is just a release point. Because for a man, every 72 hours, the sack is full. So there is a need for a release every 72 hours.
72 hours. Pause. I have to break it down. I don't understand it. 72 hours.
So like I was saying, there are different ways.
But I always tell them on this table, sir, that the Geo doesn't release every 72 hours. I am very sure.
Okay, so we go into a lot of, so let's not, we may get to that point, but you see, so every 72 hours, the sack is full and there is the need for a release.
Okay.
So that's why when people are married, it's very, very important for them to have a strong, healthy, sexy, sexual life. So that means that at least once or twice in a week, there should be
Release.
So now, but where the problem now comes in is there's what we call sexual libido. Some people have low sexual libido. Some people have high sexual libido. They will now talk about sexual libido compatibility and management. So that's another thing. But you see, the other aspect is that a lot of women, they don't realize that when you get married, as a man or as a woman, your marriage is where you are supposed to express all your sexual fantasy.
No shame.
So when I marry you, you are supposed to be Mommy Gio, and you're also supposed to be Badi Gio.
Okay.
So, but when you now come into the marriage, when the Bible says marriage is honorable, bed undefiled, it means that whatever two people that are married decide to do, mutually agree that in this way, this is what we want to do, that is their life. There is no defilement there. But when people get married, because a lot of pastors and a lot of religious leaders has given them their own personal preference and personal experience as a doctrine, people now go into marriage and they want to fast and pray. You say, Lord, this thing we're about to do, this thing we're about to commit. As if when they're having sex, the omnipresent God is not there. God that created sex. Sometimes I tell my wife, I say, this God is mighty. So you mean God sat down, he created this thing. It means that God wants our life to be sweet. Because that is the kind of, we don't see God in that life. We are doing as if we are more holy than God. So a lot of women don't allow their husband to express their fantasies. I'm talking of normal fantasy. I'm not talking of madness. Or no. So when you now want to do it, say, no, let's do it this way. Most people, it's just missionary style. Where did you see it? In the Bible or any that this is the way it must be done. So by the time you are now asking for variety, at the end of the day they say no, then your fantasy will now lead you to want to go and explore.
Sometimes men always assume that women don't want, because they don't see that women like that. They don't see, because she's now the mommy of children.
No.
So they don't see her in that light.
Let's now go to that aspect of mommy. Now you see, a lot of women also need to understand this. When you are not married, you dress well, you look good, you look fantastic, but by the time you now marry, you now think, I don't settle. I'm not going to.
There's house management, there's children management, there's even women are even doing car management these days. Women are doing community. They're like, there's things nobody can say. How many people can be going to do facials every day?
No, nobody saying do facials, but that's not an excuse not to be intentional about spicing up your marriage. Because we are talking about the problem that it has led to. You just come, so I'm leaving home in the morning. If you are not living with me, I'm living in the morning, you are with rapper. So the
first, is sexy, sir, please, so, that matter.
No. Sexy to who? So you are. Where is the negligee? Where is the nightgown? Where is the lacy stuff? So I'm living what as pastor? That's the problem. I am a human being. What is pastor here? I am a pastor and so on. So now I leave home in the morning. The picture I see is not exciting. Then I go to the work, I see people pushing it up, coste, party everywhere, billboard everywhere. I go through all that emotional torture. I return in the night again. You are a Maxi. You are a Maxi with spoon in your hand.
Let me wait 1 second. One second. Okay. Tunde from Magodo, thanks for calling. You're live.
In Morayo and the ladies. I have 2 questions for Dr. Lumide.
Please.
He said something that you are a slave to your commitment. How can you be a slave to a killer? Then the second one, to love imperfect person. How can you love a killer? Because marriage of nowadays, you see spouses, wife killing husband, and killing wife. Is that at least some few years ago, you can hear about a gospel singer that was killed by her husband. Is that why should somebody stay in a violent environment? You know, I've been married for over 2 decades, and I know what women are. At least Yoruba normally says that, you know, at times you see that women will be the husband in the house. They like to take control, and the man may not like that. So I want him to elaborate on this. You are a slave to your commitment. I can't be a slave to a killer. Okay. Again, in my own days, I came from a polygamous house. Apart from my other wives my father has, he has side chicks, and they do come to the house. And the other wives, they can't say anything. Nowadays, a man and a woman, and the man has a side chick, the man is dead already. Because the woman will not take it easy with the man. It's either he poison him, or he kill him spiritually or emotionally. Thank you very much.
So you have offloaded about 3 different. So let me see if I can quickly deal with one of them. When I say you are a slave to your choices and your decisions, it simply means once you make a decision, whatever comes with the decision, you need to know that you have to be ready. If you are walking around taking buses, taking BRT, and one day you say, look, I want to buy a car. The very minute you buy a car, everything that comes with car, fueling car, going to mechanic, if you are in traffic, you have to see that you can't abandon your car. If you are in bus, you can come down. That is what I mean. So if you decide to get married, the very way you get married, inside marriage, there's responsibility, there's forgiveness, there are challenges, there will be children, there will be fees to pay, bills to pay. You have to be ready to pay. You can't get married and say, I'm not going to do that. Inside marriage, there is sex, there is food. You cannot say, I don't do sex, I don't want to have sex. No, you have married. You have to know what comes with it. Then the second thing you said is, how do you marry a killer? You did not marry a killer. You married someone you love. If the person was a killer, you would not have married them. But when you got married to them, something happened, and you now discover things that are contrary to your expectation. At that point, you deal with that issue. If you need to go for counseling, you need to go for coaching, you need to do psychotherapy counseling, you deal with it in order to see how you can solve it. And then the third aspect of women are this or whatever. Side chicks. You see,
why are they angry now?
I don't know why. You see, your parents that you said your father is a polygamy. If you are a polygamist and you want to marry somebody that is okay with that. We have Nima on this table that already knows that, okay, this is my belief. So if it's going to come, it's part of the package. So when you are marrying a woman, let her know, babe, I love you, but me, I believe in multiple wives. So it may get to a point I need to marry another one. No problem. If she's okay, she's okay. But you cannot marry somebody with a monogamous vision and then shift the goalposts along the way and expect her to now accept it. Because you see, the best way to think is there's what we call the golden rule and the platinum rule. Do unto others as you want to be done unto you. If your wife shows up tomorrow with a guy and say, this is my side cock, how will you feel? Because men, sometimes when they say some of these things, it seems as if they don't listen to themselves. And these are the issues why we say you need to be a kingdom man, so that those kind of software will not be operating.
Coming from a man. Thank you.
Okay,
so a friend Falake sent this and said that men don't post their wife on social media, they don't take their wife out on dates, they don't spend quality time. So is there any justification in any form for a man to cheat?
No. Now, let me go to this social media. You see, the world has become, why must I post you on social media?
But they post their side chicks sometimes.
And I don't know about that. That's why I'm not against, I'm not in support of all these sides. So why must I be posting? Because sometimes you need to understand that many of these things we are talking about, we are talking to the whole world though.
Yeah.
We are talking, so some people are listening to us right now, they are teenagers. Some are listening to their young couple. Some are listening to their grandparents. So you mean now, at 65, 70, it's social media that is my problem. So for a young person, maybe that's your generation, it makes you feel good. What is the purpose of posting you on social media and punching you out?
So that the chick will, side chick will not say they did not know that he's married. Because some people will say they did not know.
So there is no reason that is tenable for anybody to be a cheat or to have a side chick, or there's no reason for
people
that.
that know they are your wife, they know they are happy. They are happy. Side chick or maybe let's say without be on social media.
Social media is a fake life.
So there any justification?
There is no justification for having anything outside
Let me take Joshua. Joshua, thanks for calling. You're live.
Pastor Daniel.
Pastor Manuel.
Pastor Daniel.
Pastor Daniel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
All right. Please, I have the former caller that called. I have an answer to some of the answer to what he said. He said, how can somebody marry a killer? First of all, what the man of God in the studio said was, if you want to get married, involve the creator that made you. Because God cannot give you what will kill you tomorrow. Most of the marriages now, they are all for emotions and feelings. And you see some girls that will come home with a man, when the dad is talking, they say, no, daddy, I love him, I like him, I love him. And they don't want to go deeper to know about that person in prayers. So that is what the first point for the first man that called, the former caller.
Okay.
Then, now the man of God, there is something he said earlier at the starting of the program that somehow I don't want to agree with. He said that when someone is married and then children begins to come, the man becomes a second class in the marriage. I think he said something like that. I don't so much believe that. I believe that everybody has their position. as a father, as a mother, as a wife, as a husband, have a place for your children and have a place for your husband. Your children should not take the position of your husband. Your husband should not take the position of your children. Likewise, the man also. I've seen some men that love their children more than their wife. And some women love their children more than their husband. That is very wrong. Every one of them has to have their position in the marriage so that they can balance the equation.
Okay.
So that's my contribution.
All right.
God
He's
bless.
going to ask
Thank
him
you very
a
much.
question.
Yeah, no, it is views. That's why we're here. It's your view. Let it count. But like I said earlier on, I'm telling you, I was talking about the fact that in marriage, you should be expecting the past, the present, and the future. You see, the ideal is different from the real. My wife, I love my wife fantastically. My wife loves me supernatural. It's an amazing marriage. But I will not deceive myself. I know that when some things are down, the child will. So, and I'm okay with it, because what is my problem with a woman loving my son or my child? Do you understand? As long as she's not depriving me of things that makes the marriage work. So you can say, okay, because you see, many times, look, listen. That's why I say to people, love your wife. Love your wife to a level where she can always choose you above children anytime. And because at the end of the day, many of the men of today that are not loving their wife, it is when they are old that they will suffer into. Your harvest time is waiting for you, because men don't do a mugo.
Okay, let Tamaka.
So by the time they leave you and begin to go to Canada 6 months, you will now become old man living alone.
Okay, so culturally, women have been taught that for you to be modest, you shouldn't talk about money, right?
And sex.
You should talk about money, you shouldn't talk about sex. And then you see, it becomes an issue where you find out that before couples marry, they discuss like their genotype, their health issues, they discuss, you know, every other thing but their finances. They don't want to touch on, the woman feels so scared to ask the man, okay, how much are you earning? What's our financial plan? Where are we going to live? What can we afford? You know, what's the plan?
Job interview.
No, there's not a job interview, but you know, it's important to know his ideas about how he manages his funds and stuff like that. Why is that women have been culturally trained not to discuss money, or that when you discuss money, you're no longer a modest woman?
Okay.
That's why we're saying that you have to now move into kingdom marriage. You see, everything you have said is culture and tradition, and it's contemporary things that are not aligned. You see, marriage is an institution. It's the only school where you collect certificates on the day of resumption. Marriage is the school where there's no graduation. In every school, there are lectures and classes. So what lecture and class did you go for? So I have said it forever. I have discovered that the major challenge we have today is ineffective courtship. A lot of marriages that exist today should never have existed. So we say, well, God has joined together, let a man put us on. That many of the marriages God didn't join.
Okay, let me pause you, sir, because I have a caller been holding for a while. Dio, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Pastor Lumide, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And I want to really thank you for sharing your story with on Dr. Pastor Kingsley's program. I watched that interview. It really gave me, that's what is your story is a replica of what I'm also going through. And it really gave me an idea on what to do. And I believe that most men, if they should start sharing your story of what they are going through, it's really going to give a lot of people, a lot of other men on how to go about some things. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So let's
okay. I want to bring in this scenario because there's a lot of women that feel that, if you look at their marriage, it looks perfect, but there's a lot of issues, and they're saying when they hear you say be committed, to be a slave somewhat to your commitment. I think Amaka used the word during the week, saying that how can I commit to rubbish? And people say, what do you mean rubbish? And I don't want to go as far as our caller that says how can I be committed to a killer? That's not killer is a bit extreme. A man comes to you, I am a Christian, I am here, I'm not cheating on you. I took you from the rubble, from poverty. I was the one that brought you from poverty. I brought you to the city. I married you. I cleaned you up. I don't want anything to do with your family. Initially, you thought he was your savior. So he brings you to the city and gives you this new life. And you're fine with it because you needed that escape anyway. So you have 2, 3, 5 children back to back. And then he's a provider. He has a house. He has a car. But he's not emotionally detached from you. He's not romantic. He doesn't show you love. He provides. And he doesn't care for your family because he took you from there. Now you're in your mid-30s or your 40s. and you want your cousins to come around, you want your children to know their cousins, and you're having issues because this man is saying, I am here, I need you. Are you now telling her to be committed to that? Because she's trying to insist, I want my family, I want to be independent, I want to have my own job, I want to have my own dreams. And it's like, no, we have built this together, you are okay with this. Where are you now changing? You are 40 and not telling me you want to have a job. At what age? So I need that person listening to you right now.
We go back to the things I've already said. Number one, that woman came into that marriage without discovery of self.
Which most of us do, sir.
Yeah, that's
most
what,
Nigerians.
So once you know that there's something wrong, then deal with it. She came in, that man had a plan. He was intentional about what he wanted, and he played his card and he said, come, this is no family, I want to take care of you. And he has stood to his own path. You were the one that came in, not discovering yourself. But I said, when you are getting married to the past, the present, and the future of that person. If that man now understand what I have said, he will know that what he is asking for is unrealistic. He will know that this woman will never remain like this forever. Because she's going to become a mother, she's going to become a graduate, she's going to become exposed, because she cannot remain like that. And as she grows, I'm also going to grow, because that man has not remained the same also. But most of the time it's because we are not communicating and talking about the real issue. So as that woman is, it's not a battle. Once you came in, you accepted something, and you have now come in and you are realizing that this thing I've accepted may not work. Then you begin to talk about it in a way that will help the other person see the benefit.
The other person is they're changing the goalposts. You know that don't want your family, and now you're bringing up the issue.
You see, communication is very strategic once you understand it. So now I give you a scenario in that scenario. So I have a child. Now I have the second one. Now I have the third one. And I'm realizing that family members were not knowing. So my husband, hey, this should go. We need to start getting, let them know their cousin, let them begin to know their extended family. Maybe they don't go marry themselves one day. So, God forbid, you are passing out. So you have to sit down to look at, anytime you are trying to sell something to someone, what is the benefit to them, not the benefit to you. So people are not strategic in communication. And they just want to come, you cannot tell me this, you cannot tell me that. And then, no, you begin to help, this is our family, we cannot live over these children. Then one day, they'll go to school, then you begin to sell it in the possible. And then, when you are in that marriage, that family they brought you away from, how were you talking about that family?
Exactly.
Because many times you are the one that have sold your family short to your spouse. So when you come and you are telling, thank God, what you deliver me, I would have still been there now, eating garri with them, using then that my sister, do you know she's this, that? It is the same people you said are devils. You now want to come to me 10 years later to accommodate devils in my house. So sometimes we are not wise in the way we have handled some of the things, and we are just blaming people. That's why we say people come for counseling, go for therapy. Go for therapy. Let people help you. Many people are dealing with traumas that they are not ready to face, and they want to use prayer to cover their mental problem.
It is still you, pastor, that said that we shouldn't bring a third party now. Now you're telling us to come for counseling. All of you, all the pastors.
Which pastor
don't bring it even till tomorrow.
Listen to
tomorrow. They are still saying it at weddings. Don't put a third party.
That is a wrong message. That is not scriptural.
So what's the right message?
There is no marriage that can survive without a third party. None. Because you see, every time they tell you that, you go and read my book. I've written this book since 1998. I've written books since 1998, so I'm not one of such pastors. Every marriage requires a third party. When they tell you they allow a third party into your marriage, listen to what they say in the same sentence. They allow a third party. Marriage is between a man, a woman, and God. You have just contradicted yourself, because God is also a third party. So what we should be telling people is, be careful the kind of third party you bring to your marriage. Let it be third party that can help, because whether you like it or not, the media is influencing you, third party. Your school, your education is influencing you, third party. Your friends are influencing you, third. So there are already third party, consciously or unconsciously. So most of the time, all these messages, you see, the syllabus has changed. And I've said it over and over again, religion is more dangerous than the devil. When you practice Christianity as a religion, you're going to be a pawn in the hands of charlatans behind the pulpit. You're going to be a victim of the religious, myopic, inexperienced, inexposed interpretation of scriptures of the people you listen to. Many of the pastors today, over 80% of them, have never gone to Bible school. They have never read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, talk less of studying it. And they are behind the pulpit. So many of them speak from their level of understanding and exposure, not from theological understanding and kingdom perspective. So you have to know God for yourself and study.
Let me take it from you. Good morning, Fanyiwa. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Steven.
Okay.
I'm watching your view. I mean, I really enjoyed the program.
Thank you.
Learning a lot. Then I wanted to say something. I like what the guest speaker said. He said something very, very profound about when you want to get married, that it don't involve God. That you involve God. No?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, that she involve God, and that's exactly what many people are not doing. We want to get married, we don't involve God in our marriage. But now, I myself, as an example, when I want to get married, I used to do fasting and prayer, dry fast 3 days every month. There's a girl I wanted to marry, so when I feel that fasting and prayer, I do every month. It's a normal thing that I do in prayer. So when I go to church, the lady I was talking to, in my church that time, where I was, and when I got to church on Tuesday, God told me, this is not your wife. Very clear voice. And I've not even met my wife that I'm married now. Do you know that I walked to her immediately. I said, God said, you're not my wife. I did not sugarcoat it. I just said it the way I heard it. And today, I did not regret it because I met my wife after that. In fact, I've been married for going to 11 years now. My marriage has been fantastic. And God has been
Thank you very much for the Mr. Stephen. I want to use what he said because a lot of people have this and I want to hear from God. And they go and pray and talk to pastors. And because I remember a woman who told me that the man she really loved, her pastor told her that that's not your husband. Today, I think she was 50 something, 53 years old. The man married somebody else. He's a Muslim. She's a Christian. And he loved her and she loved him. They loved each other so much. But, the unequally yoked preaching and her pastor said, no, he's not her husband. Anyway, the man has gone to marry somebody else and he's happy. And she felt like she lost out on somebody that could have been her soulmate. Until tomorrow, she has not forgiven her pastor for not allowing her to marry that person. So whenever somebody tells her God says, she runs, but I don't want to hear anything.
Okay, so when the pastors become the people that decide who you marry, what kind of Christian? Because you blame pastors, but that person is not a Christian. He's an unserious believer. When do you need a pastor to tell you who to marry, who not to marry, what car to buy, what car not to buy? We are putting a lot of responsibility on pastors that God didn't give them. And many of them are carrying the responsibility to make them feel important. If you are a Christian and you read your Bible, did your own Bible tell you to marry a Muslim? Why do you need a pastor's opinion on what is written? So if you believe you should marry the person, then go ahead and marry and become a slave to your choice. So if you marry the person, enjoy yourself. The guy can marry 4 other wives and you still enjoy it. Because all this one, there are women that don't have any problem with their husband having other women. Because their love language is different. For some people, just take care of me. As long as you can take care of me, give me my own house, my own food, you can do whatever you want to do. So it's all a function of, are you really a Christian? Let's stop all this God, pastor, this. Many times it's just religion. So if God has led you to marry somebody, it does not mean that there will be no challenges. If you don't handle those challenges well, the same marriage that God led you to will scatter. Because everything in scripture that talks about marital crisis, we saw how God brought them together and we still saw the crisis.